Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 892. And pretty much to start off with, we have to talk about the new opening, because yeah, the new opening is very hype, and it's rare that you'll ever hear me say this, but for me, the in terms of the new opening, it's kind of fucking perfect. And I mean that because, for starters, in terms of the visuals alone for the opening are just so fast paced and do such a good job at capturing the pure raw intensity. Of pure raw intensity of basically what we pretty much as the viewers are gonna expect in this arc. Like a lot of the stuff in there is kind of like just strictly for his stuff that was strictly for the opening, and some of it actually happening in the anime, but at the same time it pretty much still managed to capture just pretty much how intense potential of this arc has. Like, really, it's kind of insane how pretty much nuts how nuts that how nuts just the potential and what's already happening in Wano is. Wano is definitely going to be that freaking, like, if there's ever a representation of an arc, that this opening is, the visuals in this opening are just a pure raw representation of just how insane Wano can get. Trust me on this. And also, and not even just intensity, but basically even from how pretty much beautiful that just from Wano as a country actually is. Like Wano is just very beautiful to look at. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, in this episode, I like just from the artists. Just the artists who work on the opening and the anime itself, that they pretty much did a pretty much phenomenal job at bringing out just pretty much how beautiful of basically a country that basically Wano actually is. And yeah, and yeah, let's get into the song, and of course. Now visuals are one thing, but how does the song play out, and how does the song actually make me say that, yeah, that this opening is perfect. And the thing about the opening, and the thing about the opening song is that it is just so energetic that, I shit you not, the very first note had me rocking out and jamming to the beat. Like the very in the very millisecond that pretty much the song started, I was snapping my fingers. I was rocking in this chair. I practically had to prevent myself. I had to prevent myself from I had to prevent myself from even bouncing off the walls. Let's put it that way. It was so fucking good. Like yeah, the opening, and how this is important is that in most cases when I'm pretty much listening to an opening for the first, when I'm listening to the song in an opening for the first time, it takes a couple seconds. It takes a couple seconds for me to, in order for me to even kind of ease it into an opening song. Or even at times that there are even times where I need to rewatch an opening just from like at least one or two more times in order to know if this is an opening I'm gonna like or not. But again, with the song, it hooked me in immediately. Like, that is rare. Even for pretty much hype as One Piece as a show is, there have been a lot of opening songs where it does take me just a couple of rewatches in order for me to appreciate the opening fully, and especially and the music of that opening. But with this opening, the song, it hooked me in instantly. That's pretty much how pretty much good this particular opening is for me. Like, it's basically the kind of opening where I immediately said, I want this on my fucking anime playlist. I do. I'm hoping it it gets released soon, or I don't know if it's already released, but yeah, I want this. I want this. I want this opening on my fucking on my iPhone. Like, seriously, it's yeah. What more can I say? The opening is just that damn good. But yeah, I think I've been talking a little too much about the opening. Let's get in the actual episode itself. And the episode itself is. And the major thing when concerning the episode itself is that it was the majority of what it was doing is that it was reintroducing us to introducing us to all the Straw Hats who basically who pretty much who basically went on who decided to go on who decided to go on pretty much ahead to on ahead while Luffy's group was dealing with Big Mom. But the one thing I really liked in this reintroduction of reintroducing us to pretty much all the Straw Hats who decided to go to Wano ahead of Luffy and the others is that it was the classic Straw Hat thing we basically see of them in pretty much disguise as citizens of Wano. But I do like how in this particular case that we pretty much actually see there's an actual importance in pretty much all the Straw Hats like staying in character and blending in with basically the populace of Wano. It's reinforced in this episode that it's important for them to do this. Otherwise it's essentially game over for everyone. And it's essentially game over for everyone, and there's a potential danger. It's essentially game over for everyone because there is a potential danger of them attracting Kaido or the attention of the Shogun, Orochi. So in this case, it really puts an importance on that, and in a lot of ways, it really sends off blaring warning signs of how much more of a threat Kaido is compared to other Yonko, just the fact that obviously with Orochi he's probably going to be a threat in himself, obviously, but just the fact that pretty much that basically Kinemon stressed, look, you need to stay in character and you need to just kind of blend in. It stresses that, yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of necessary just for the fact that no one dies. That just kind of stresses that, yeah, Kaido, we've basically known this already, but Kaido, he's kind of a fucking monster. So yeah, of course, as we see, even playing the part of an average citizen comes with its own challenges, as Zoro cannot stay out of trouble for 2 seconds. Which, yeah, it's Zoro, what do you expect? And yes, before I forget, Robin as a geisha is beautiful. I mean, honestly, I don't know what it is, but every time I pretty much see her dressed up in any kind of disguise, she becomes more and more beautiful each time. And I don't know how that's possible, but it just is for her as a character. I think it's just that Robin has this natural beauty to her that I love. I just love about the character. Like Robin, of course, is a dangerous foe in herself, but just she has this natural beauty to her that I love. Also, one thing I really liked about this episode was basically how pretty much stylistically it was, and in one case of this episode, there was actually a transition that was very stylistic, where we see Luffy where we initially see Luffy in the beginning of the episode, he was being swallowed up by the whirlpool, and then we're instantly transported to Wano through a mysterious geisha with bright green hair who was basically playing a pretty much shamisen. And I don't think that particular transition was ever in the manga. I think in the manga it cut away to Wano after Luffy and the others pretty much fell into the whirlpool. But either way, it was a very nice work on the animator's part with that one, and a very stylistic choice too. It was very stylized. Just in the way that pretty much they kept that just in the way they were of course using that geisha in order to transition everything. And yeah, it was kind of cool. of course, even more than that was that we pretty much got, from what I see, we pretty much got even better. Is basically is a lot of new there's a lot of new title cards too. So yeah, like we basically got our own title cards for Wano, which is cool as well. And as far as the geisha herself, well, oh boy, that's in its own. That's its own. The geisha herself is basically is in herself her own interesting can of worms. Fellow manga readers, you know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, the geisha is definitely someone to keep your eye on for sure. And getting back to Zoro for a second, what was going on with him in the episode was such a strange emotional ride for me. Because on one hand, I should definitely be angry at the fact that everything that Zoro did in this episode just essentially put everyone at risk of coming into conflict with Kaido. But on the other hand, it can't be denied either that in this episode when basically see him being held prisoner and dealing with the magistrate. Yeah, the magistrate in himself is a total prick horse, so it was definitely satisfying in order to see Zoro take him out. With just a knife, like it was basically a seppuku knife he was using, and yeah, it was just satisfying in order to see Zoro just use a simple seppuku knife in order to take out the magistrate. Also, in this with this episode and the magistrate himself being essentially outed as the slasher who was being built up in the episode, we're kind of already seeing a situation where pretty much Kaido's occupation of Wano, while a threat in itself, is also being used as pretty much, I think we can assume is being used as pretty much a cover by Orochi in order to pull some really shady shit. So yeah, it opens up that door as well. Also, do I even need to mention art and animation in this episode? Because again, it was just another great animated and artful episode, and it didn't really even need to do anything big in order to stand out in that regard. It was just the smallest and simplest of moments in the episode where it really shined when it came to both artwork and animation. Although neither, am I gonna lie, the art and animation where Zoro is fighting the magistrate and his men was definitely one of the best moments of that. And again, it really just brought it back to full circle as to what I said before. With the current style having the current style of art and animation having that modern sheen, but also being blended with basically the classic look of One Piece we pretty much all remember in like earlier stages of the show. And based off the preview, it looks like that it'll only get better so far. Like I'm sure there are going to be dips every now and then, but like honestly, I'm just loving what we're seeing right now with this. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Illustrator Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.